Welcome back. It's Yellowhammer Radio, Superstation 101 WYDE. 866-551-9933. We will get to your calls coming up. Right now on the show with us today is our local financial guru, Jeff Roberts. He's the founder of Jeff Roberts and Associates. He and his team of 7 advisors can help simplify your complex wealth management needs. They are an exceptional financial advisor team who have provided sophisticated financial planning and advice to high net worth clients for up to 131 combined years. That's a lot of years, Jeff. How are you today, man?
Excellent, my friends. Good to be back.
Good to have you back. Glad you're on with us here today. Andrea, of course, is getting some beach time in down to the Gulf Coast, and you have me, who's a little on pain medicine. So I don't know how this interview is going to go, Jeff. It may be kind of crazy.
Hey, man, if you loop off into Twilight Land, that's okay. I'll bring you back.
All right. Well, in the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about the 3-minute confident retirement check, which is found at jeffrobertsonassociates.com. Now, since then, we've been drilling down on your confident retirement approach and the 4 principles that go along with it. So, again, if we can review some of that, tell us all about the confident retirement approach, Jeff.
Well, basically, the company I franchise through, Ameriprise Financial, we've been doing and helping people plan their finances for over 120 years, since 1894. So we know retirement planning, whether you're there or trying to get there. And this is why we've developed an exclusive confident retirement approach, which is what makes retirement planning more manageable by breaking it down into simple steps. 4, having a certain amount of money that provides a guaranteed income for covering the essential expenses that you have in retirement. Having a bucket of money that is used to cover lifestyle expenses separate from our essentials, then preparing for the unexpected, and then leaving a legacy to pass on to your heirs. That's the basics.
Well, I know. So today we're talking about the 4th principle, which is leaving a legacy. Tell me, what's the whole leaving a legacy thing all about, man?
Basically, leaving a legacy is leaving a lasting impression on those you love, or the causes you believe in is really what it means to leave a legacy. And whether your legacy involves family, loved ones, or a cause that you care a lot about or passionate about, there are strategies that can assist you with giving now or tax efficiently distributing your estate later. And so that's the basics, is taking your life's work, if you will, financially, and passing it to the places that you want it to go.
Very interesting, Jeff. That's pretty interesting right there. Now, people planning to do that, or there's some mistakes maybe that they possibly make while they're trying to do that? Because that could be, to me on the outside, it sounds kind of complicated, but that's what you do for a living.
Yeah, well, today what I thought we would do is just keep it simple. Let's just drill down on a bunch of those common mistakes that I see. These are in no order, but I just kind of made a list today of the things that when people come in and talk about estate planning, the stuff that we see people getting wrong most often. Again, we'll go through several. And again, random order here. But one easy one that's probably the simplest that we see people do is when people decide they want to gift money, whether it's to their church or a family member or anything else. People all the time are gifting cash, and we strongly encourage people not to do that as a first source. In fact, what we look for oftentimes, particularly if you're looking at charity, if you're gifting money to a charity that is a actual charity where you can get a deduction for giving the money there, you are actually better off by giving highly appreciated property like a stock, something that if you sold yourself, you would have to pay capital gains on. Passing it to the nonprofit organization, they can sell it, not pay taxes, and then the cash that you would have given, use that cash to replace that asset in your investment portfolio. So when you're giving to a charitable organization, try not to gift cash, gift highly appreciated property when existing.
Oh, that's pretty interesting. What are some of the other common mistakes that people make?
Titling or ownership of property is huge. We see clients who will go spend thousands and thousands of dollars to have wills and trusts set up so that upon their death, their money goes in a particular direction. And if you're hearing this and you think, I had this fancy will drawn up and did all this work with an attorney. But if you didn't go in and take a close look at the ownership of your assets may be owned or set up as a beneficiary in a way that the money doesn't ever get to the will or the trust that you created. It passes directly on to the joint owner or to a beneficiary, And the hard work and estate planning that you did kind of didn't work. So you have to look at not just creating the legal documents, but also the way your assets are titled or owned, and those have to be aligned. We see people getting that incorrect all the time. Huge mistake.
Wow.
Yeah, I see that all the time too, Jeff. And I tell my clients that, like, you're 100% right. If sometimes we'll draw up a will, and then they won't fully know, all right, what's this going to cover and what's this not going to cover. So if you don't have somebody like you that understands sort of the financial situation in those meetings, they can think they're protected and they're actually not protected, and then they're in a bad situation.
There's no doubt, and that's why with our planning clients, we do a net worth statement literally in every meeting. So if they're coming in every 6 months, we review the entire net worth, every asset in every location, from cars, personal property, you name it. And we have the ownership of those assets tied on there as well, so that when they're working with their financial planning team, like a lawyer, estate planning attorney, they can see the document and the way everything's listed out to know, does the will and trust align with the ownership, and get the advice that they need. It's big.
Our guest is Jeff Roberts of Jeff Roberts and Associates. We're talking about leaving a legacy and some of the mistakes people do when they're trying to leave that financial legacy. Jeff, what are some of the other mistakes the clients and people make?
A couple other ones, and this one's kind of big, and it can be very personal to people, and that is we encourage clients to take an honest inventory of their heirs and the heirs' readiness to receive an inheritance. And the question I like to ask is, are your heirs equipped and prepared to receive money from you? And I have two extreme examples. So just last night I was talking to the son of one of my clients, who is basically 27 years of age and has, at 27 years of age, just married, both in the military, and he has over $120,000 saved up, and literally rents an apartment. This is going to be somebody who will pay cash for a new car that they need and get a new used car, and then they'll put 20% down on a house, and they'll be packing 15% away for their retirement plan in their early 20s. And they'll do that for the rest of their life. So you're talking about getting an incredible financial foundation of somebody young with the right habits. And I have another client whose son that we had talked to about a month ago, and this is somebody who has been tapping into their parents' money year after year as a young adult, out on their own with their own family and kids, coming back to the parents over and over again, going back to the well and trying to get money from them out of their retirement assets to float the mistakes that they're making financially. And the reason I share this is people don't often take the time to think about the impact of leaving large amounts of money to children that are or are not equipped to handle it. Mm-hmm. So if you spend your whole life sacrificing and planning your estate, and you're building up your retirement nest egg that affords you a retirement, and then we see that they're likely going to pass that nest egg on to a child that's going to go through it very quickly. There's simple estate planning tools you can put in place to protect those heirs from themselves. And so it's a tough conversation, but it's a big piece that we see people mess up all the time. And the last piece on that one is because they feel that, well, I got to split my money equally with my children. And I look at people and think that doesn't even make sense. Love your children equally by treating them uniquely. And if someone is not ready or equipped to receive an inheritance that you've prepared your whole life for, don't leave them something that they're going to blow. You'd be better off giving it to charity or the child that does manage it correctly. Just an interesting perspective.
That's interesting, Jeff. Very interesting. Okay, so are there any other common mistakes that people make as we get ready to wrap up here in the next few moments?
Last one, the one that's sad to me is when people can afford to gift in their lifetime and they don't. They haven't done the planning, the forecasting, the projections of their estate to see that they're going to have enough money, and they've protected themselves along the way, and they could gift while they're alive and let their family benefit or charities benefit and see the impact of that. But they haven't done that work to feel confident enough to give money away. And so proper planning helps us to be able to show that to folks. It's huge.
Wow. Well, Jeff, as we begin to wrap up here, if anyone has any interest in getting help or want to be more confident towards their own retirement, what do they need to do, man?
Give us a buzz at 205-313-9150, or you can go to jeffrobertsandassociates.com. Take the 3-minute retirement confident check, and it's a great way to begin to figure out where you are.
All right, Jeff Roberts and Associates. Appreciate you being on Yellowhammer Radio, and we'll chit-chat with you again next Wednesday, Jeff.
Thank you, sir.
All right, have a blessed day. Jeff Roberts of Jeff Roberts and Associates. Jeff Roberts and Associates.